Now let's talk about the bearish patterns. Now these bearish patterns have just as much significance, but instead of indicating that the trade is going to swing up, instead it indicates that the trade is likely to swing down. These patterns are the inverse image of all the bullish patterns that we just learned in the last video. So here's the principles here. Number one, you're watching for bearish patterns to appear at either the upper band or the middle band. Notice the difference here. With the bullish patterns, we're looking for them to appear at the middle or the lower band, so we have room to swing higher. With the bearish patterns, we're looking for them to appear at the middle or the upper band, so again, we have room for these trades to swing lower here. And when you see them, it leads to a high probability downswing more often than not. So here's the patterns that you're looking for. You want to be watching for the bearish engulfing formation. This is going to be one that approaches from down below. You got a small spinning top, and then of course the engulfing pattern itself. You've got the large black candle that engulfs the small white candle here. The tweezer top, again, it's kind of similar sized candles. In this case, we're alternating from white to black. When you're looking at the 2-day candle patterns, we're alternate for the bearish patterns, we alternate from white to black. For the bullish patterns, we go from black to white. But for the bearish patterns, we go from white to black. That color order there is very important. So look at the tweezer top here. You're going to be trading up near the upper band or the middle band. You got a large white candle and you got a black candle here that basically have the same high price here. Then you look at the bearish harami. This is a large white candle with a small spinning top inside the preceding day. Again, all these are approached from below. You got the bearish counterattack. This is the one where we gap up and we trade down and we counterattack at the previous day's close. You've got your dark cloud cover. The dark cloud cover is going to gap up and it's going to trade down, moving at least halfway into the preceding day there. You've got the one black crow. This is a really powerful pattern when you see it. Gaps down, closes below the preceding day. These one black crow patterns, the one white soldier, which was part of the bullish patterns there, these are some really, really strong patterns. You need to really identify them. A lot of people miss this pattern in particular. Learn to identify it. It's a very, very powerful pattern, the one black crow. And then, of course, the 3-day pattern here is the evening star reversal. This is just the bearish version of the morning star reversal. The color order here is not that critical. And let me clarify that. The first candle needs to be white. The second candle doesn't matter, and the third candle needs to be black. So the first one's white, the third one's black. The middle candle can really be either one. What matters about the middle candle is that it is a small spinning top. That becomes the star. And again, hopefully, in an ideal world, you'll have a gap on at least one side of that, either the gapping up into the star or gapping out of the star. Either way, it's still going to work like an evening star reversal. It's very, very powerful candle formation here. In a perfect world, though, in an ideal world, gap on both sides, but at least on one of the sides. That's going to give you the textbook definition. And then the other pattern here is not really a pattern. It's the same thing I did with the bullish formations here. It's the long upper shadows. You see these long upper shadows? When you start to see those at upper bands, you start to see those at middle bands, that is a lot of selling pressure. Be prepared. You start seeing a lot of long upper shadows. Even the candle body really doesn't matter. Even if you have white candle bodies, it still is a lot of bearishness because you have that selling pressure at those band levels, and that's representing some resistance to you. And so you learn these patterns, just like the bullish ones. You start to learn them, and they're really going to take you a long way. Let's look at some examples here. We'll start to pull it together. And I'm just going to take a note here. Look at Google. It doesn't really matter what you look at. You look at any band's pictures here, and you're going to see stuff like this. But look at Google here. There's a little bullish harami. You get up to the middle band. There's some upper shadows in there. Bearish haramis, bearish engulfing. Starts to roll back over. Look here. Lower shadows, little spinning tops with lower shadows at the bottom. There's a little bullish engulfing. And, of course, the swing moves over. This is very similar to an evening star reversal. Instead, you kind of had two days in there. You had the gap on the left side and the gap on the right side, but it just kind of took 2 days to develop the star. Look at how it pulls down to the middle band. There's your doji right there in the middle band, like a morning star reversal right there. You see that? You keep going through here. It's like a one black crow, gaps down, closes below. Here's a little bullish engulfing. Every one of these tops has a candle formation, every one of them. And it's really important that you learn to remember your patterns and you learn to identify them when they're happening in the right location. This is a great way to know that that swing is done, a great way to anticipate what's happening with that move here. Notice the spinning tops, a little doji candle up there, bearish candle, that clear sentiment picture here that this trade is reversing. You get back down to the bullish or to the middle band here. You start to have the bullish candles coming in here. You have the little spinning tops. Every one of these little tweezer top there at the middle band, boom, bearishness comes back in. Here's a little bullish counterattack. You know, all these are doing the exact same thing. They're showing that this sentiment is shifting. Let's look at another one. This is just one stock. This is Google. Let's look at Target. Works the same on Target. Watch this here. Bearish engulfing formation. And what happens? The trade starts to reverse here. You get to the middle band, start to provide some support. It actually trades sideways for a little bit. Looky here, long lower shadow at the upper band, or the lower band, I should say. There's a doji candlestick, and the swing starts to move the other direction here. Another little bearish engulfing formation. Right down to the middle band, there's your bullish engulfing. Back up to the upper band, there's your bearish candles coming back in. Back down to the bullish, to the lower band, bullish harami. And you see each one of these turns has some of these candle formations. So just because you have a candle formation doesn't mean you're going to necessarily have a reversal, but when you have them at the right place, the probabilities of that swing changing directions goes up substantially. Let me show you some signals that are often misunderstood. Take for example here, this candle formation I'm drawing right in the middle. Notice how this is a bullish candle followed by a bearish candle here. A lot of people would think, well, see, that's a bearish reversal. But no, look at the location. It's right in the middle of the lower band. It means nothing there. But you take that same formation, you get it up to the middle band or certainly up to the upper band, and now suddenly that starts to take on a lot of bearish sentiment and a lot of bearish weight to it. So you've got to identify the patterns in the right location. That's where they take on the most meaning. And when we start to synthesize it all together, you've got the patterns, you've got your bandwidth, you've got your percent B, all happening inside these bands, and you start to get some really, really powerful signals that in many cases will kind of write your trading script for you when you learn to do the analysis and when you learn to interpret the information that you're seeing there. So as we summarize our candles, you start to see that candles are really important in terms of interpreting the sentiment as it's moving day to day in those Bollingers. If we looked at the 5 steps of trade confirmation, we talked about support and resistance, we talked about identifying the trend. Your Bollingers really help you with that, but you're kind of out here on a desert island if you don't have a way to interpret the immediate day-to-day sentiment. That's where your candles come in. They're a very, very important key to interpreting that information. So here's my summary for you. Candles are a very important component in trading a band system. It's critical to know your patterns and to understand the sentiment that goes with them. Not just understand it, but understand the sentiment that goes with them. And finally, candles will help you get in at the right time, and they'll help you get out at the right time. Very important piece of learning to trade with your Bollinger Bands.